Hello, and welcome. Let's talk about something that happens in the quietest hours of the night. It's that moment when the house is still, the world is asleep, but you are wide awake. The clock on your nightstand glows. It's 1:47 a.m., or maybe 2:15 a.m. It feels like your body has its own personal, frustratingly punctual alarm clock, and it's set for the middle of the night. You lie there, your mind starting to race. You think about the day ahead. You worry about not getting enough rest to have the energy to play with your grandkids or to manage that trip to the grocery store. You might feel a familiar sense of anxiety creeping in because this isn't just about losing a few hours of sleep. It's about what that fatigue does to your life. It makes the stairs feel a little steeper. It makes you second guess that walk with a friend because you're worried about your balance. It steals the joy from your morning, replacing it with a fog that's hard to shake. You might have told yourself, oh, this is just a part of getting older. But what if it's not? What if this predictable nighttime waking is a specific signal, a message your body is trying to send you? What if I told you that this 1 to 3 a.m. wake-up call is very often a direct plea for help from one of the hardest working organs in your entire body, your liver? It's not random. There's a beautiful, intricate reason this is happening. And the best part? Understanding it is the first step to finally sleeping through the night again. Stick with me, because today we're going to uncover why your liver is waking you up, and I'll share simple, gentle, food-based strategies to help it quiet down, so you can get the deep, restorative rest you truly deserve. It's a journey we can take together. If this feeling of being tired resonates with you, I'd be so honored if you'd subscribe and join our community here. We're all about finding practical ways to feel stronger and more vibrant. And I'd love to hear from you. What's the one thing you'd do with more energy if you slept better? Let me know in the comments below. To understand what's happening at 2 in the morning, we need to zoom out and look at your body's master schedule. It's called our circadian rhythm. Think of it like a wonderfully intelligent symphony conductor, making sure every part of your body does its job at the right time. During the day, it tells your brain to be alert and your muscles to be ready for action. At night, it cues your body for rest, repair, and deep cleaning. Now, within this 24-hour cycle, ancient wisdom and modern observations have noticed something fascinating. Different organs seem to have peak operational hours. It's like a meticulously planned shift schedule inside of you. And according to this internal clock, the hours between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. are designated as liver time. This is when your liver, your body's primary filtration system and detoxification powerhouse, kicks into high gear. While you're sleeping, it's performing its most intensive work. It's like the dedicated night crew in a massive factory, coming in to scrub the floors, sort the inventory, and take out all the trash from the day's operations. It's neutralizing toxins we've inhaled, filtering byproducts from medications, and processing fats and hormones. It's an incredibly energy-demanding job. And here's the key. If the liver is overburdened, if the trash from the day is more than the night crew can handle efficiently, it has to work overtime. This struggle doesn't happen silently. An overworked liver generates a lot of metabolic energy and heat. This surge of activity can be enough to kick your nervous system out of its calm, restful state and into a more alert fight or flight mode. It raises your core body temperature slightly and can trigger the release of stress hormones like cortisol. And just like that, your eyes pop open. You're not awake because of a noise or a bad dream. You're awake because your liver is, in essence, screaming for help. It's working so hard that its frantic energy is literally waking you up. It's a profound signal, not a personal failing. So, the next logical question is, what's putting so much strain on our liver in the first place? Why is its inbox so full that it has to work this frantically through the night? For many of us, especially as we get older, it's not one single thing, but a slow accumulation of modern life's demands. I like to think of it as a traffic jam on the liver's detoxification highway. One of the biggest contributors to this jam is the sheer number of substances we ask it to process. Our diets can play a huge role. Highly processed foods, particularly those with high fructose corn syrup, industrial seed oils, and artificial additives, are like sending a fleet of rusty, broken down cars onto the highway. The liver doesn't recognize them as clean fuel and has to work extra hard to break them down and escort them out of the body. Then there's alcohol. Even a single glass of wine with dinner, enjoyed for years, requires significant processing power from the liver. It's a toxin, and your liver prioritizes getting it out above all else. If you have that glass late in the evening, your liver is just getting to work on it right around that 1 to 3 a.m. window. And we must talk, with great empathy, about medications. As we age, many of us are on 1, 2, or even more prescriptions to manage our health. These medicines can be life-saving, but every single one of them must be metabolized and filtered by the liver. This is not a judgment, it's a biological fact. When the liver is constantly processing multiple medications, its capacity to handle its other duties, like processing food and environmental toxins, is diminished. This creates a backlog, a traffic jam, that puts it under immense, chronic stress. It's simply overwhelmed. Recognizing these burdens isn't about creating guilt. It's about understanding the reality of what your liver is up against, so we can start to give it the support it so desperately needs. The first and most powerful way we can begin to ease our liver's burden is by calming down inflammation. Think of inflammation as a low-grade fire smoldering throughout your body. An overworked liver both contributes to this fire and is damaged by it. It's a vicious cycle. You feel this inflammation as stiff joints in the morning, general itchiness, or that brain fog that's so hard to lift. By choosing foods that act like fire extinguishers, we can soothe our entire system, including our liver. One of the most potent natural anti-inflammatories comes from a humble, golden spice, turmeric. The active compound, curcumin, is a superstar at dialing down the inflammatory signals in the body. However, curcumin isn't easily absorbed on its own. It needs a partner. The magic happens when you pair it with a pinch of black pepper. The piperine in the pepper can boost curcumin's absorption by up to 2,000%. You don't need a lot. A simple habit could be stirring a half teaspoon of turmeric and a tiny crack of black pepper into a warm cup of almond milk for a golden latte, or adding it to your morning scrambled eggs or a pot of soup. It adds a gentle warmth and a beautiful color. Another powerful ally is omega-3 fatty acids, found abundantly in fatty fish like wild-caught salmon, mackerel, and sardines. These healthy fats are essential building blocks for your body's own anti-inflammatory molecules. Aiming for 2 servings of these fish per week can make a profound difference. A simple 4-ounce fillet, about the size of a deck of cards, is a great serving. If you're not a fan of fish, you can also find omega-3s in walnuts and freshly ground flax seeds. Sprinkling a tablespoon of ground flax on your oatmeal or in a smoothie is an easy way to get them in. Of course, if you are on any blood-thinning medications, it's incredibly important to speak with your doctor before significantly increasing your intake of these foods or considering a supplement, as they can have a mild blood-thinning effect themselves. It's always about working with your healthcare team. Now, let's talk about a category of foods our modern palates have often forgotten, but our livers desperately crave: bitter foods. In today's world, we're surrounded by sweet, salty, and savory. But bitterness, a flavor our ancestors ate regularly, has a unique and powerful purpose. Bitter flavors are a signal to our digestive system to wake up and get to work. When the bitter taste hits your tongue, it triggers a reflex that stimulates the entire digestive cascade. Most importantly for our topic today, it signals the liver to produce bile and the gallbladder to release it. Bile is a crucial substance. Think of it as the detergent for the fats in your diet. It breaks them down so they can be properly absorbed and used by your body. Without sufficient bile flow, fats can become stagnant and go rancid, placing a huge toxic burden on the liver. Bile is also the primary vehicle the liver uses to package up and escort toxins out of the body. So, if your bile is thick and sluggish, the toxins get stuck. Embracing bitter foods is like turning on a gentle rinse cycle for your liver. You don't need to eat a whole plate of them. The goal is to reintroduce the flavor. Simple ways to do this include adding a handful of arugula or radicchio to your salad. These have a peppery, pleasant bitterness. Dandelion greens are another fantastic choice. You can sauté them lightly with garlic and olive oil, just as you would spinach. Even a cup of chamomile or dandelion root tea in the evening can provide that gentle bitter signal. It can feel a little strange at first if you're not used to it, but your taste buds adapt surprisingly quickly. Imagine starting your biggest meal of the day with a small side salad of mixed greens that includes some of these bitter leaves. This small action prepares your liver and entire digestive system for the meal to come, reducing the stress and workload it will face later that night. It's a simple, elegant way to work with your body's natural design, not against it. Once we've started to cool inflammation and encourage healthy bile flow, we need to support the liver's most technical job, the detoxification process itself. This happens in two main phases. Phase 1 is like taking the trash and putting it in a bag. Phase 2 is tying that bag securely and carrying it out of the house. Many livers get stuck here in Phase 2. The toxins are bagged up, but there's no one to carry them out, which can be even more dangerous. This is where a fantastic family of vegetables comes to the rescue. The cruciferous vegetables. This family includes broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, kale, cabbage, and bok choy. They are uniquely rich in sulfur-containing compounds, most notably one called sulforaphane. Sulforaphane is like a switch that turns on the genes responsible for those critical phase 2 detoxification enzymes. It's like calling in a team of highly efficient workers to help tie up all the trash bags and ensure they are removed from the body safely and completely. Supporting this pathway is essential for clearing out everything from old hormones to environmental chemicals and the byproducts of medication. When this system is running smoothly, your liver is far less likely to become overwhelmed and send out those frantic, wake-up call energy surges in the middle of the night. The goal is to get about a cup of these vegetables into your diet each day. This could be some lightly steamed broccoli with your dinner, a cauliflower and cheese bake, or some roasted Brussels sprouts tossed with a little olive oil. One important tip for preparation: to maximize the formation of that powerful sulforaphane, it's best not to overcook them. Steaming until they are tender crisp or enjoying them in a slaw is perfect. Boiling them for a long time can destroy the enzymes needed to create it. Think of these vegetables as your liver's best friends, the reliable support crew that ensures the cleanup job gets finished every single night, quietly and efficiently, while you sleep soundly. Finally, let's anchor all of this with two of the most fundamental yet often overlooked pillars of health: hydration and mindful eating habits. These may sound simple, but without them, the other efforts we've discussed can't work as effectively. They are the foundation upon which true healing is built. First, hydration. Your liver is a water-dependent organ. Every single metabolic and detoxification process it performs requires water. Dehydration is like asking that factory night crew to clean up a sticky, syrupy mess with dry paper towels. It's slow, inefficient, and creates even more friction. When you are chronically dehydrated, your blood becomes thicker, making it harder for the liver to filter. Toxins become more concentrated. Bile becomes sludgy and doesn't flow well. Sipping water consistently throughout the day is one of the most profound acts of kindness you can show your liver. The key is consistency. Don't wait until you're thirsty, as that's already a sign of dehydration. And try not to chug a huge amount of water right before bed, as that will likely wake you up for another reason. Instead, keep a glass of water by your side all day long. Herbal teas also count. Your goal should be clear, pale yellow urine. This simple visual cue tells you that your internal system has enough fluid to do its job without struggle. Secondly, let's talk about the timing and manner of your evening meal. Your liver's heavy-duty cleaning shift starts at 1 a.m. If you eat a large, heavy meal at 8 p.m. and go to bed at 9, your digestive system is still in full swing when the liver is trying to start its deep cleaning. You're asking it to do two huge jobs at once. Giving your body a solid 3-hour window between your last bite of food and your head hitting the pillow can be revolutionary for your sleep. This allows for the primary phase of digestion to be completed, so the liver can focus on its intended nightly tasks without interruption. Eating mindfully, chewing your food thoroughly, and eating in a calm state. Also pre-digest your food, taking a significant load off the entire system. These aren't drastic measures. They are gentle, respectful adjustments that honor your body's natural rhythm. As we bring all of this together, I want you to hold on to one central, empowering idea. That wake-up call at 1 or 2 or 3 in the morning is not a sign that your body is broken. It is a sign that your body is brilliantly communicative. It's sending you a very specific message, and now you know how to interpret it. Your liver is asking for support. It's asking for the right building blocks to do the vital work it performs for you every single night. You now have a toolkit of gentle, nourishing strategies. You can begin to cool the fire of inflammation with turmeric and omega-3s. You can gently stimulate and cleanse your liver with bitter greens. You can provide the essential support for detoxification with powerful cruciferous vegetables. And you can create the right foundation with mindful hydration and meal timing. This isn't about perfection. It's about starting small. Maybe this week, you just focus on adding a handful of arugula to your lunch salad. Maybe next week, you try a cup of dandelion tea before bed. Each small, consistent step is a vote of confidence in your body's ability to heal and find balance. This is how you reclaim not just your sleep, but your energy, your clarity, and your vibrant life. If you found this conversation helpful, please give this video a like and consider sharing it with a friend who might also be tired of staring at the ceiling in the middle of the night. And if you haven't already, do subscribe to join our wonderful community. Thank you so much for your time and your trust today. I'm wishing you nights of deep, uninterrupted rest and days filled with boundless energy. Be well.